Well, Harley's come out with the new 2024 Street Glide, and it's time to go over it. And yes, I've seen it in person, so I'll give you my honest opinion of that new 2024 Street Glide. So let's check it out. Hello and welcome to Road Rush Nation. I'm Terry, your host here, and thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. If you're a member of the nation, thank you so much. You have no idea what it means to me. And if you'd like to be a member of the nation, it's free. All you need to do is hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. All right, blah, blah, blah. Let's get into the good stuff. The new 2024 Street Glide has come out from Harley, and wow, it's quite a difference from the old Street Glide. And you know me, I'm a Street Glide girl, so I did get to see one in person, and yeah, they're pretty sweet. So let's go over the new Street Glide, and I'll give you my opinion and the facts on the new 2024 Harley Davidson Street Glide Special. All right, let's go ahead and scoot on over to Harley Davidson's website and check out the details on the new 2024 Street Glide. So let's go ahead, and we're just going to scroll down and let's check out that starting price. And you'll see it's at $25,999. Basically $26,000. Whenever you see this little $390 as low as your payments, always be cautious of that, because that's for the best circumstances, lowest interest rates and the best credit score. So take that with a grain of salt. If that's what you're looking for, you're going for the basic. Now, the color that pops up in defaults on their website here is known as the Whiskey Fire. And to get this color, you'll see you're going to pay an upcharge of $850. So you're going to need to add that to that $26,000. It does come in a chrome or a black finish. If you decide you want the black, which is a nice combination with the Whiskey Fire, it's going to be an extra $1350. But remember, this year changed the basic color, and it's now called Billiard Gray. Billiard Gray is what we used to have as black as being that standard. It's now the Billiard Gray. If you decide to have it with the black finish, you're going to pay extra for the black finish. But if you take it in the chrome, that's going to be the starting point for all the price increase. That's what's going to get you the $26,000 is the Billiard Gray with the chrome. But let's take a look at the other colors that are available. You've got a Vivid Black. Remember, you're paying extra for Vivid Black from now on, and that's an extra $600. If you decide that you want it with the black finish, it's going to be an extra $1350. Then if you go with a white onyx pearl, that's an upcharge of $850. Plus with the black, of course, it's going to be $1350. But if you go with the chrome, then you're not paying that extra $1350. Of course, there's the Whiskey Fire. You can get it with the chrome or the black. There is an upcharge with the Whiskey Fire for $850. And one color that is really probably my favorite out of all the options is the Blue Burst. I had a very good friend who was invited by Harley Davidson to Las Vegas and the press junket they had for content creators, and he said this color was amazing to see in the sun, and a lot of the other content creators that had been invited said this was amazing. It was his favorite color out of all the bikes. This is an upcharge of $850. If you get it with the chrome, that's it. But if you're going to go with the black, which I like that kind of combination, the blue on black, is an extra $1350. Now, Some colors will give you both options, some don't. So let's go with the next color is the Alpine Green. That's an extra $8.50. But if you look here, you'll see that the black is not an option. So you don't have the black finish with the Alpine. Why? Not quite sure. Then we've got, the next one we've got is the Shark Skin Blue. This is the color I saw. It didn't blow my doors off. I wasn't really overly impressed with it. It only comes with the black finish. You'll see that the chrome is not an option. I think the reason this one just doesn't blow my doors off is I've seen other vehicles, and I'm talking cages, four-wheel vehicles with this similar color, and it was just like, okay, so you took Battleship Gray, put some blue in it, and said, we're good, and it's a new color. Not really crazy about it. Okay, let's get on to the important part. Now we know what all the colors options are, and hopefully you found something in there that you like. You'll see that also this Shark Skin does not come with a chrome option. Before I get off of this part, now let's get into some exciting details. What's the upgrades? What's happened with the new Street Glide? So the first thing you're going to notice is that bat wing fairing. Yes, this is the bat wing fairing that was introduced last year on the 2023 CVO Street Glide, and it's a massive improvement. Why? Well, because we've got the integrated LEDs. They've been finally listening to us and been able to get the LEDs into and part of a standard package on the bikes. So we've got that, but it really cuts the wind. It's to eliminate some of the buffeting that's going on. This is a new design. It takes a while to get used to. I get it. But you know what? If we didn't have innovations and new designs come out, we'd be still riding the old bikes from the turn of the century of the 1900s where it looked like a bicycle. So you got to have innovations. One of the other things I really am glad about was the signature LED lighting that they put in the back. So we've got these bigger brake lights, which are a huge improvement from the little bulbs we had. That was always one thing when I first started riding my first Street Glide, which was a 2017, you had just those little bulbs. And my concern is always the person behind me, who's usually in a car, not paying attention. Those little bulbs weren't going to catch their attention. So one of the first thing I always did was I would put on bag lights, and you'll see it on my bike that I have now. And I also changed out all the bulbs, so there was LEDs. But then I also put in a modular system where it would strobe the brake lights. That's something I would check out if you're getting one of these to see if you can get a modular setup to where you can strobe your brake lights. And I would also put on some bag lights. You can get the thin strip bag lights, which look really good on these. They come out with new wheels. You've got your contrast cut wheels. They're nice looking wheels. But then you have a flow state, what they call flow state. And really what the flow state is this is all about how the bike looks completely. Previously, when they stuck a fairing on, it kind of just looked like it was put there, and then they go, oh, let's put some bags on it, and it really was kind of clunky looking, and it didn't really all flow together. Now it all seems to flow together, and it looks like it belongs. So for appearance's sake, it's really made a nice improvement. But now let's take a look at the motor. It's a 117. These used to be only available on the CVOs. In fact, Aaron has a 2019 Ultra Limited CVO, and it has the 117 on it. This is no slouch of a motor, I will tell you. It's got some power behind it. Now, Aaron has put a stage 2 on his, so it even gives it a little extra oomph. So if you want to get one of these and you decide, I even want more, then go with the stages. And I will tell you the most bang for your buck is going to be your stage 2, where you can get your torque cam and just be flying. That's something to look at. But this 117, it's now the standard. People always are asking, hey, let's bring in the bigger motors. Well, once they brought in the 121, you knew the 117 was going to be the standard motor. So let's look at performance. Of course, we've got the 117. They've reduced the weight on these bikes. Oh my gosh, this is a huge improvement for those people that are intimidated by the weight of these bikes. It's been reduced by, look here, 18 pounds. That's a huge drop in weight. You've got to think about, where did they drop the weight in here? A lot of it has to do with the product they're using to make the saddlebags and the fenders, and also how that airflow, they've cut down on things. And then, of course, the aerodynamics. The aerodynamics of the new fairing is cutting down on the wind buffeting for the rider, And this is a huge improvement. I have heard from third-party vendors that within the next couple months, they will be coming out with some aftermarket windshields that you can adapt, because really the wind buffeting, it all depends on the height of the rider. And I'm not talking overall height, I'm talking from your sitting position to your head. So your torso is what can make the big difference. Somebody can have a shorter torso but be 6'5", and maybe it's not as big of a problem as somebody who is 6'5" and has a larger torso. So the aerodynamics, a huge difference. Now here comes the big innovation. The big innovation is the screen and the technology with the Skyline OS system. And everything is embedded into this system. You've got CarPlay, you've got all those extra features now within the system. Now, from my friend who was at the Las Vegas junket, which was riding in the Ozarks, Mike Thompson, the other night we were talking about this, and the big question was, can you see this in the sunlight? And yes, you can. It's a high visibility screen, so you don't have any problems with that. So that's something that I was glad to hear. This also has ride modes. You don't get all the ride modes you're going to get on the ST, so don't get too excited over that CVO ST rides, where you get track modes and such. You're not getting that on the Street Glide, guys. You're going to get a road, a sport, and you'll see a custom and also rain. So you'll find what fits best for you. But that custom, you could fit that up to be anything you want it to be. And then, of course, that screen is huge. It's not like the smaller screens we've had in the past. But you're not going to have any analog. It's all within this OS system. Now let's get into a little bit of details. I really want to get into, we know what the engine is, we know what the performance is, but let's get into some of the dimension, because here's what I want us to look at. Remember I was talking about the reduced weight? Well, here it is. The shipping weight alone is 774 pounds. But look at this. The running weight is 811. Let me tell you, when I purchased my 2021 Street Glide, it's the Arctic Blast, for those of you that aren't aware, it weighs 850 pounds. 811, that's a huge difference. That's fantastic. That, I think, is one of the biggest improvements, is to have that lighter weight. The other big upgrades is the audio system. It's got an advanced Rockford Fosgate system where they put in an amp, and the speakers are just better than what was in the 2023s. Just last week, my local dealership, Worth Harley Davidson, did a great presentation on the difference. They had a 2023 and played the stereo, and then they put the 2024 next to it and turned that stereo to the same volume, same song, everything, and you could hear a massive improvement. Is it perfect? No. If you like high performance audio, you'd probably still buy an aftermarket, but for starting out, it's got a great stereo system. So what do I think of this bike overall? I will tell you, I think Harley has finally been listening to a lot of the requests that riders have had. And the thing that we as riders have to understand is that Harley's been listening the whole time, but it takes 2 to 3 years for it to get engineered through to production. So when we've been whining about LED lights, this, and maybe we could have this, a better stereo system and aerodynamics, they've been working on it the whole time, but it does take 2 to 3 years, and that's with any standard manufacturer, to get it to production. They've been listening to us on the price. I will tell you that is a huge thing, to see that the price has not gone out of control. Some of us will say it's out of control no matter what, they're just overpriced. I get it, but if you look across the market, they're one of the few manufacturers that said, we're going to bring it down. We're going to bring it to at least a level point and make it at least hopefully affordable for somebody to buy a brand new bike. Not everybody buys a brand new car every year, and not everybody buys a brand new bike every year. A lot of us have to go out and maybe say, I'm going to buy a used one, and that's okay. Well, hopefully I've enticed you to go out and check one of these brand new 2024 Street Glides out. I think you won't be disappointed and be pleasantly surprised. Again, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. I'd love to have you as a member of the nation. Remember, it's free. All you need to do is hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell. Ride safe, and I hope to catch you on the highways.